It is a national movement. 44 states have adopted what they call the Common Core, which are academic standards for grades K through 12, and the actual curriculum standards, what each student should know and be able to do in each grade in math and language arts, English language arts. And while it's all public school oriented, in the sense that it's the state education department that's that's adopting these standards that have been developed by the National Governors Association and the Council of Chief State School Officers. The textbook manufacturers, the test makers, the people who produce curriculum materials, professional development, the schools of education that train future teachers are all focusing on their materials to complement the standards. So our schools are looking and saying, well, we do our own curriculum, we're unique, we're independent, we have our own culture. In a couple of years, it's going to be very hard to buy materials. It's going to be hard for our teachers to go to professional development that matches what they're doing. So maybe we need to think about adopting the standards. So what we're urging people to do is to look at the standards you have now and look at the Common Core standards. How different are they? What's different? And what do you need to retain? What do you need to import? And how can you go about? In some states, for instance, in Ohio, they have to take the state tests. They have to be accredited, so they don't have much of a choice. Others, it's quasi-participation. So what we're doing with the standards, what I did in the presentation, was lining out what is the background, what is this all about, where did it come from, and what does it mean for us, and how do we start to approach this topic. And one of the things we're doing from NCEA and some of our sponsors is this summer we're bringing together a group of professionals who have curriculum experience, plus people who are in the catechetical religious education field, and looking at the English language arts standards for all 12 grades. And we're going to develop several examples, templates really. If you're teaching this standard, and these are the readings that go with it, what are the Catholic social teachings, the Catholic values, the doctrine that you want to make sure you talk about while you're contrasting and comparing this literature or you're studying this literature? What's the point of view? And how the way we infuse Catholic teaching into what we do normally, so that even though these are, quote, secular standards, there are ways in which we can make them personal to the Catholic school. How do we import them into the culture and the context of faith-based education?